Hey, it says this Hangout is on the air. Good morning, everybody. I know it's a minute early, and I just went ahead and started anyhow because we were just. Hello, Chris uh, and Larry. Larry, we were just talking about you, and last week you asked me a question about why my blog was only showing the first few lines on the front page, and I told you that it wasn't a plugin, but I thought it was in appearances. And I went and I spent a fair amount of time trying to figure out the answer to that question, and I came up short. I do not know the answer. And I'm thinking it is just a it's the theme, and I don't know where to change it. I can't find a switch anywhere in the theme that tells me how many lines of the blog is going to show up on that front page. Um, Chris, do you know anything different than that? Because I know when I go out and I look at my blog on MLSP sites that I'm getting a different result. On MLSP sites, the whole blog is showing on the front page instead of just the first two or three lines of it, or a few lines of it. And again, I don't see a control for that. And I know there is a way to change it if one goes into the code. I mean, you can go into the CSS code, which I don't know how to do it. I'm not going to pretend I know how to do it, but I know it's possible. Someone who knows a lot more about this stuff than I do can go into the CSS code and change those parameters. But there isn't. I can't find a menu item to change it.
Yeah, Chris is saying yes in the chat.
What are you saying? What are you saying yes to, Chris? Hmm. You still there, Chris? Is there that big of a delay in the chat? Yeah. So do you know something? You want to come over and tell us? I'm gonna click you over, Chris. Of course, you don't have to come if you don't want to. Chris is on his way. There's Chris.
What?
So what do you know?
Share your screen and go into your sites. Into sites. That is what Larry's using.
Okay. You want me to share my screen and go to sites? Is that what you're telling me to do?
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay. Here goes the screen share. Entire screen share. MLSP login. Now, okay, signing in. So I assume you can see my screen.
I can see your screen, but why are you going in MLSP back office? Oh, you're going in that way. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, get rid of this. Okay. Why? Was it? Never mind. Yeah. So here's sites. You want me to go to my site?
I want you to go to your site and then go in like you're going to do a new blog post.
Okay.
Larry's saying his regular blog, not sites.
Oh, God.
Okay. Well, anyhow, let's go on down this path because it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to learn something here. Maybe we're all going to learn something.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. So here I am. You want me to pretend like I'm going to put up a new post, add new?
Yeah.
There I go, add new. Okay. All right, talk to me.
Okay, now up in the wiki, how come I can't see where you would type and do your stuff?
You can't see?
Oh, open that up.
I'm sorry.
Open your stuff up.
You have to define stuff.
You know, where you make your paragraphs and your headers one and all that crap.
You want me to go to the visual editor, is what you're telling me. Okay?
I don't use anything but the visual editor. Okay, go over, not the link and not the one next to it, but the one next to it.
Okay.
Right there. Insert more.
Right.
Where you want your thing to end so they read more, that's where you put that.
Right. Now, okay. I believe that, and I believe that that's a characteristic of. I mean, I do not think that I have that over on my blog.
Probably not, but I was under the understanding that Larry was using sites, and that's what I was all excited about because I knew where that was.
Yeah.
Because Finale just did a video on it in that blog blitz that I'm in.
Right.
However, I did say there was a plug-in, and I'm wondering if it was in Jetpack.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know. So here I am. I'm going over to my blog right now, and remember now I'm Optimized Press now. And if I go to my posts, I needed to be here anyhow today, so let me just add new post and and open my the visual editor.
Well, there it
is. There is an insert more read tag. That's interesting. But I don't think. But I've never used it. But that's interesting. I didn't know. Well, okay. I'm embarrassed to tell you, I didn't even know it was there. Maybe I should go look at the rest of the tags. I thought I knew what was here. But okay. So that's that. That's there. Interesting. But I don't.
Larry, now you need to check your blog and see on your wiki if that's if you have one of those.
It's interesting. But the thing is, what's interesting, I'm going to have to play with this. I've never actually used this. So I don't believe this is the thing that's controlling how much of my blog is showing up on the front page.
That's what Finale said, and it worked on mine.
It is? Okay. All righty. So, all right, I'm not gonna take any more time here with it today, but
it says continue reading.
Right, but I didn't put that there.
Oh, okay.
That's coming in automatically from, and maybe it is just the number of lines that thing is set for automatically by default. Interesting. All right, I learned something new.
Okay, you can kick me out now if you want.
Well, it's up to you. I don't really care.
All right.
Larry, I thought you were in Florida. Okay. Anyhow, since we're here, what I had intended to do today is to go down through, and this again, it might be a bit of review for some of you, but it is what Ray is doing, partially what Ray is doing to distribute his blog. So once he generates a blog post, what does he do with it? So can you see this list?
Yes.
Everybody can see that. Okay. So sort of in the order that he went through it all in, anyhow, starting at the top. The first thing he does, or one of the things he does, is he pins. He sends it to Pinterest. So if I go to my blog, yeah, that's not what we want. I'm going to close this window. Let me close a couple windows here so I don't get myself too terribly confused. This is, let me close that one just so we're in. Yeah, we're going to leave the page. Okay, just go to my blog, and I'm picking on the same blog post that I picked on a couple days ago. Come on. How to become an expert in anything. So one of the things that I have now is I have the Pinterest pin, or the pin it right there. And there's a couple different places you can find a pin it, but I have pin it right there. And so I can come on over here, and I can go ahead. And one of the things we want to do is to put in a little. Now this was about how to become an expert, so I would write something, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to bore you with my typing, but I would write something in here like, learn how to become an expert in anything you want quickly and easily, and then put in the link back to the blog itself, how to become an expert. So that link is going to go in there, and also what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, so stick the link in, and also I'm going to say repin if you find this interesting, or repin if you find this valuable. So in Pinterest, we're going to use the term repin this, and then we're going to decide what board to put it on. Now the other thing is I found is I can screw around with this and I can get the right picture in here. So if I want to, I can go back and get and make sure that I get the picture that's showing up here on the blog. So I believe if I start with the pin button here, so there's a couple different places to start, and I believe if I start with it there, I'm going to get the picture. But at any rate, I played with this a couple of different ways. I got a Pinterest button there, so there is that one, and so I can play around with it. And I can get the correct picture, whichever one I want. So that's the first thing. One of the first things he does is he goes ahead and he pins it. Then on down his list, he tweets it. And of course, that's pretty straightforward and simple. Tweet actually works really well, and in all of my blogs, I now have the please feel free to retweet here, so I can retweet it from there, or we can tweet it directly from here, so we can tweet it. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Not much to talk about there. Coming on down his list, LinkedIn. I have added LinkedIn to my dig button here. So if I click on LinkedIn, it takes me out to LinkedIn. And once again, as it once it gets done loading here, that's taking a while. All right, let's just do that again. Hopefully, it'll load faster. There it is. Okay, so there's LinkedIn. There's the whole thing, how to become an expert on anything, and I might want to add something in there like comment and share or whatever, and if you get value. So once again, we just click the share and we're done. Now he also posts to different groups, and I only belong to 3 different groups. We've talked about groups in LinkedIn before, and really I only belong to 3 groups here. And I got to tell you in all honesty, I haven't played with the posting to groups, but he does post to a bunch of different groups. So I'll just add that. I'm not going to go through posting to groups today, and I think some of the groups you have to get permission from them to post in, so it's not just automatic. Okay, so LinkedIn. Next, Google+. So once again, with our dig bar, it's pretty straightforward. We go to Google+, and see how well that worked. We go to Google+. There we go. And now we're going to add a comment, and also got to get the right picture in there. So if I want to add a comment, one of the things that I can do, and let me just do this, is just come and get the first couple lines. Yeah, let me just get the first couple lines. Copy, go back to Google+, go back to Google+, put a comment in, get the right picture up there, and in Google+, we're going to go +1 if you find value. So in Pinterest, we're going to tell them to ask them to pin it. In Google+, we're going to tell them to +1, and I'm just going to hit the share button because this thing's ready to go. We're done with that. Traveling on down the list, Facebook fan page. Now, this is an interesting one, and the reason it's interesting, sometimes, and Ray actually in his in the course 3-Minute Expert, he actually demonstrated doing two different things. One is sharing the entire blog itself, so just grabbing the URL of the blog, going on over to Facebook, and he suggested, as we've talked about this before, always starting with your fan page first, sharing to the fan page. So one of the things that he sometimes does is he shares the whole blog to the fan page. Now, when you do that, the problem is, of course, the person is out on YouTube, they're out on Facebook, they're not coming back to your blog. So the second thing he does is he takes, rather than sharing the whole blog, he just takes the video and uploads the video natively to Facebook. And the third thing, the thing that I've been doing recently, and several other people have suggested, we've seen this on one of the MLSP webinars, is to create a short video for YouTube alone. And this is one that I did today. So this is a 1-minute video that is natively uploaded to Facebook only. It is not YouTube. So simply uploading a 1-minute video and then telling people to go ahead and check out the blog post, telling them what it's all about, tell them to go check out the blog post. And what I've been doing is I've been then sharing this, and I'm not going to go through all the shares, but I've been sharing this not only, of course, to my own personal page, but also to a multitude of different groups, and MLM groups, and so, for example, and I'm not going to actually go through this right now because there's just not enough time and there's too many things. But if I go tell it to share in a group, and there's a bunch of MLM groups that I belong to. So MLM Traffic Generation, biggest MLM network. So I will actually, and I haven't done this yet. I just put this video up a few minutes ago, and I was a little bit behind with this one. So I will go ahead and share it to all these groups. And then there's a number of other groups, and these groups are interesting because all these work from home groups, there's a bunch of them out there, and they're all spam groups. They're all spam fests. And what I'm thinking is, and someone else suggested this. This isn't an original thought from my meager little brain. I don't remember where we got it from. But what I'm thinking is that if we put content, actually put valuable content in those groups, maybe somebody will pay attention and start seeing content and come around and want to know what we're all about. I noticed Dr. Lisa Thompson is putting content out in some of those groups. I don't know if she's putting it out in all the groups that I am, or she may be putting some in different groups. I don't know. I haven't tried to correlate it. But I am seeing some results. I'm seeing people start to respond to some of these things, and I'm also distributing my Coffee with Len videos into those groups. So that's what I'm doing with the blog on Facebook, and I'm beginning to get some traction. I have a comment here: if needed, clear Facebook cache. I'm not going to go through that right now, and the reason I'm not going to go through it is I've got a problem with this Facebook cache thing, and I don't know if you remember what that's all about, but that's if you just simple Google clear Facebook cache, you're gonna find it. It's the debugger. It's the Facebook developers tools. And what you need to do sometimes is take the URL for your. Let me show you this. Just take the URL for your blog and put it in there. And this is going to come up. Oh, this actually came up with the correct picture this time. This is actually good. It means that Facebook is actually finding the correct picture. I've been getting an error message with this in the past, and I haven't been able to figure out what it was. So it seems to be working today. So maybe I finally solved the problem. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of cleanup on my blog, on my website. But that's what you need to do. Oh, no. No, that's it. It's coming up with the wrong picture. I'm sorry, my mistake. Yeah, it is coming up with the wrong picture, and it still has an error message here that I haven't figured out what it means and what to do with it. But if you're trying to post your blog directly over to Facebook, you just put the blog in, and you see it comes up with the wrong picture, and that's not what you want. That's what you have to do, is you have to clear that cache and get Facebook to come up with the correct picture. It's not working for me at this point, and I don't know why, but that maybe it'll work for you. So anyhow, that's what that is. I'll leave the page. Now, and of course we already talked about this, posting on the personal profile, posting to Facebook groups, then Instagram, Instagram using OnlyPool to post to Instagram, and I can't do that right now. My OnlyPool account is, I need to reactivate the account. I ran out of money and I need to start the account up again, and to be honest with you, I wasn't being consistent enough with it to keep it going, so I got to make a decision whether I want to start that again or not, because I wasn't posting on Instagram enough times to really get any traction over there. So that's one of the things that I need to deal with personally. And then also LinkedIn. Again, I mentioned the groups in LinkedIn. There's a bunch of groups out there. You can start searching through the LinkedIn groups and find different groups if you want to. It takes a fair amount of time to go through all the different possible MLM groups if you're posting into MLM on LinkedIn. So again, there's a fair amount of time there if you want to do that. One of the things that Ray likes to do is be consistent, create at the same time if possible, every day or every other day or whatever you're doing, and also Google Plus groups. And I don't belong to any Google Plus groups right now, so I don't do that. Email your list. What I do with my list is, my list, I have a, let me go on to Aweber for just a moment. So I have all of my blogs automatically turn into a blog broadcast. So here's one, for example, that actually hasn't been sent yet, but you see, they all turn into a blog broadcast. They're automatically generated out here in Aweber. And then all I have to do then is send the broadcast. And if we look at, and I'm sure most of you have seen these, because all of you are in one way, shape, sense, or form on my email list. I sent one out yesterday, so I don't know if I can find it or not here real quick, but and maybe it's not even worth me trying to find right now. Oh yeah, there it is. So that's what the blog broadcast looks like that comes from Aweber, and so I sent this one out yesterday. So I do email these to my list, and that's another thing that Ray recommends doing. He recommends, once again, he recommends emailing to your list daily, at least once a day. So, okay. Let me get rid of this. I'm assuming that you can still see my screen. No one's complaining. And if you're interested in podcasts, John Lee Dumas has a free podcast course. And I am actually going to go sign up for his course. If you just Google exactly what I wrote down there, John Lee Dumas, let me get anywhere, somewhere. If you just Google free podcast course, learn how to podcast from John Lee Dumas. There it is. So this is a free course that you can sign up and take, and I am going to sign up and take it. Just want to find out what they're using and how they're doing it. I think I know, the most dangerous thing in the world is I think I know. So I think I know what they're doing, but I'm going to go through the course and find out, because I'm going to probably start podcasting. So there is a free course out there, and it does lead to an upgrade or to another product. So, but it's okay. And then once again, Ray emphasized using the PS line. Make sure you've got a PS line in all of your blogs so that people can go learn how to do more. The other things that I do that Ray did not talk about in this particular module is I also go out, and every one of my blogs goes on to OnlyWire, or almost every one of them does, and I'll tell you that I don't always remember to do this, but I've shown you this before. Let me just grab the blog URL. If I go out to OnlyWire, and it's this simple. You just paste the URL in and hit enter and wait for it to load all the information, and you're done. Click share. So now the first time you use OnlyWire, you've got to set it up. So I've got a bunch of different places set up on OnlyWire that these things are going. But you can see that I'm regularly using OnlyWire. The other thing that I'm regularly doing is I'm taking my blog broadcasts and I'm submitting them to eZine, and I didn't want to take the time to show you how to go through eZine today, but I will just show you that there it is. I submitted it about 3 hours ago today, and here's the one from a couple days ago, Overcoming the Fear of Prospecting. So this article is now up on eZine and being distributed by eZine. So there it is. So I put these out on eZine all the time. And the final thing that I do is I put them in Spin Distribute. So if you've never used Spin Distribute, and again, I went through SpinDistribute.com. I went through this in more detail on one of the other Lunch with Lens we did. I actually went through and showed you how to put an article up on Spin Distribute. I actually went through and did eZine. And if anybody needs to go back through that or learn any more about it, it's really, 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 I'm not logged in, it's really trivially easy to use these things. Once you've got them set up the first time, it takes, I'm going to say, arguably, it's less than 5 minutes to do. Come on. It's less than 5 minutes. You see how to become an expert in anything. There it is. It's actually waiting for approval right now because I just put it up there this morning. But both eZine, you saw how fast OnlyWire is. Once you've got eZine set up, it takes, again, really less than 5 minutes to submit an article to eZine. And Spin Distribute is the same way. It takes maybe 5 minutes at the outside once you've got it set up and you've done it a couple times. So these things are really pretty easy to do. And that's what I'm doing with all of the articles that all the blogs that I'm writing. So, let me stop the screen share and come back.
How much rewrite do you have to do on?
Pardon me?
How much of a rewrite do you have to do for eZine?
How much of a rewrite do I have to do for eZine?
Uh-huh.
I'm not always doing a rewrite. Sometimes I'm taking the blog post directly and bringing it over to eZine. And when I say taking it directly, I'm making some changes to it. So, for example, in my blog post, I've got links to authority sites like, Ray Higdon's site and stuff like that. All those come out. So when you submit to eZine, the article has to be pristine and pure. But I'm not doing a total rewrite of the articles. And And I mean, I'll tell you in all honesty, I don't know if I'm getting dinged out there for duplicate content or not, but I haven't seen any evidence of it. Uh, many times the version of the article I submit to eZine is slightly different because I write the article before I've done all of the SEO for it. So it's not absolutely identical. So I suppose to be pure, uh, one should get a spinner and spin the articles. I haven't seen any spinners that I like the results from. They do okay, but I'm pretty picky about English grammar, and the spinners, I just don't think they do a very good job. So that's it. That's all. That's the whole list of everything that these articles are being distributed to. I hope that was worth going through for you. Looks like we lost Larry.
So what did you think?
Pardon me?
Hey, Bill, would you try to mute and see if that gets rid of the echo?
What was that?
Will you try to mute and see if that gets rid of the echo?
That sounds better now, Chris.
It's gone down.
Okay, good. What did you think of the webinar last night?
I thought it was pretty awesome. I thought he dragged it out on a little long. To be perfectly honest with you, you know what? I'm going to stop the broadcast. Since there's nobody out there